There we go. Good morning, or whenever you're watching this video, and welcome to another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. It's the day after Beltane when this is being recorded. Beltane being celebration of kind of the midpoint of spring, and also fertility in all its forms. So welcome to our very fertile yard. We're trying to keep it happy for the pollinators this year. Speaking of happiness, I've heard teachers in India, and one in particular, say that actually the goal of life is simply to be happy. That is, to stop worrying about what you're doing and to find happiness in every activity. That can be an attitude of samatvam, of being the same, of making a pledge to experience happiness no matter what seems to be going on around you. That attitude of being is what we're looking at today as we transition from the second third of the Gita to the third of the Gita. Many Gita scholars break up the Bhagavad Gita into three parts. The first three chapters are all about doing, acting in this world. The second set of chapters about how to be in this world. And then the third set of chapters, what you need to know. And personally, I think it's a logical progression. It also gives you the opportunity to notice, where are you in the spectrum of things? Where do you need to put your focus in your spiritual or worldly development? So, for example, when I think of gardening, at first, when I was doing gardening, it's like, what do I do? There are so many plants and they grow like crazy. What do I do? I weed some. I remember starting out and weeding out the wrong things and not watering things correctly. And I was wrapped up in what I was doing to promote the health of these lovely plants. But then, as I spent more time with gardening, it became more about being in the garden, less about what I was doing and more about how I was feeling and experiencing and just being present. And that led to actually knowing what to do in the garden without having to check. You're there, and the plants can kind of communicate with you. You start to notice what exactly is going on. And that made gardening much different for me, more spiritual, definitely. I feel more connected instead of just what do I do, being and then knowing. We can look at this in any relationship. A lot of times, for example, in the West, the idea of being in a relationship first starts with doing. Let's do something together, right? Let's go on a date. Let's have an activity. Let's talk. Let's text. And then you finally have to be together. If you were just communicating online, you actually have to often meet and be with the person. And I think the relationship really takes a turn when you just have to be with them, like if they're sick, or if you're kind of like done out and you have to exist, you have to coexist, you have to live with, and then you know them and they know you. So we have to make this transition from doing to being. When we're finally comfortable being, knowledge manifests. So if there's a situation you're stuck in, I'm going to invite you to consider that today during the meditative time. Because probably if there's something that you're feeling stuck in, you've tried doing something about it, right? Well, maybe just be with it. And sometimes when we're simply with whatever the challenge is, we will know what to do. You can look at this in the practice as we do the pose today too. Do an asana, do a pose, do tree pose. Shift that awareness, if you can, to actually just being in the pose. And that can help you with whatever you need to do to take care of your body. Maybe you need to do it from a chair. There's a chair here, really. Maybe you need to do it lying down. Maybe you need to keep both sets of toes on the earth, or the arms have to be in just a position that works for your body. Okay. Find a way not just to do the pose, but to be a tree today. Let's do it. Or let's be it. Sorry. There we go. See how ensconced it is in the English language? Amazing. All right. Switch. Switch sides. All right. Instead of doing meditation, we're being. Maybe, as I suggested, being with a challenge that you've had, just holding it in your awareness, and see if that leads to an insight as to knowing what how to address that challenge. Here we go. How was that? As always, it's wonderful to be here with you. I hope you will also be here tomorrow. And I'm dedicating today's practice to the bees because without them, we wouldn't be. We wouldn't be able to live on this wonderful earth. Until I see you again,